Hello everyone, welcome to this review session of the NAOL Season 17 Round 2, 3 games. This is my first time doing this, so I'm actually really excited to do this and to impart my wisdom on some players. Without further ado, let's just jump right into the games. This is game 1 between Cold River, Black, and Steppe, White. And Black chooses a unorthodox opening, at least straying away from the common 4-4 and 3-4s. And how White deals with this, especially after we get this move, and let me turn coordinates on, especially after we get F3, whenever you see something you're not familiar with, which I'm sure White, unless these two players play all the time, White has never seen this kind of opening before, or this Shamari in the lower left, the best thing to do is forget it exists. Because 1, your opponent has probably prepared better for it, and 2, you don't want to be caught unawares on what's going on really early on. So I like White just going elsewhere. We get the shoulder hit, lean. This is all standard. And then White goes here, and this is okay. This is okay, but both sides start to miss a key point in the upper right. And we'll go back to what it is, but first we'll look at what happens. Black extends, which makes sense because you have a wall, but White says, I'm going to split. Black cuts. White extends. And a big fight breaks out like this. And then Black turns. And this turn is kind of the crux of this whole position. And let me explain why using actually a joseki that could have happened with this one. The joseki itself doesn't matter. What's important is the point that I'm going to make. So this is joseki. If you've never seen it, that's okay. But the idea is White is going to live somehow. But the question is, how is White going to live? So White needs to push. And right now, White could live. White could cut here and capture and live. This is 2 eyes. But Black blocking here is sente. White is forced to live. And whenever you get blocked in, whenever you get blocked, whether on the 2nd or 3rd line, in sente, that is very painful. So in this joseki, White actually pushes once more and then cuts. And now this block here is not sente. White has 2 eyes. So using this joseki, if we look at the game position, when Black turns here, this move is sente. Because if White does something else, Black can cut. And there's no way for White to refute Black's cut here. So in the game, White had to play here and make these, especially when White's trying to attack, make some pretty bad exchanges that help Black more than they help White. So in this position, at this point, White should play here. This is the key move here, because if Black answers, now White can do the same sort of moves in the game, like this, right? And then jump out. Now when Black blocks, it's not sente, because the corner is already alive. And so White could have time to maybe extend along the side, or maybe help the center, or help the upper left, or do something else. So if Black answers like this, though, to fix, then White gets this hane, which is very big. So here, actually, instead of extending here, Black could or should block here, like this. The other way Black can play is not allow this shape to be at the start. So Black can push here and then block, and now Black's shape doesn't have any weaknesses in it. So those are the ways Black can avoid this. But after this happens, like this, yeah, White's fight here, because remember, White owes a move in the upper left when Black extended, and now White has a group in the center, and now White is sealed into the top side as well, upper right. So White extends here. Black plays here, yes, and then jumps. This is very nice. And once again, before you try to attack or go after the eye shape there, you really need to surround first. So in the game, White plays at the elephant eye, Black blocks, and we get this shape, but nothing really works here. And White kind of realizes this and kind of backs off. And then ends up playing M11. But by playing M11 now, Black just goes elsewhere. So White should just play M11. White should just play M11. Now, if Black goes elsewhere, Now maybe there is some weakness we can look at because we have started to surround black. Or maybe we come from this direction to force black to live in this area. But to immediately try this is almost jumping the gun here. And yeah, black is already alive. And white's actually weakened themselves too because these moves here took away these liberties. So later, there is potential for this cut here. And in fact, black could take this right now or go after the shape, white shape there by playing here. Because white made black infinitely stronger with these exchanges. But black plays here. And white does the hane here. And I really like black's moves here. Black blocks, then jumps out, then peeps, and then jumps again. So black's helping the top side, took the corner, and still attacking the center. So this is all good by black. White extends, black hanes, and this is good order as well. If you do this first, like let's say black had done this first, and then jumped, white could extend a little further. White can maybe go to here, or maybe all the way to here, because black had made white stronger with this exchange. But by waiting for white to extend first, now black hanes, now white's a little over-concentrated there. Then black slides, and then black goes here. So this is a, I don't want to say necessarily a mistake, but there's better moves than what black did here. If this is fine, this slide here. The two moves you want to play are either L3 if you want to play for territory, or M4 if you want to stay on the fourth line. Now, I think black was thinking, okay, if I play here, my bottom side's a little flat, and I agree. So if you want to play something, M4 would be the move here. So why is M4 better than L4? The reason is, after white plays here, which white does in the game, you have a weakness at M3 you have to worry about. So even if you kick and try to attack white, there is counterplay in black's shape here, where if you come on top, white can connect under or start to connect under. But if you try to fight, you could potentially lose the lower right. So, and this is where you have to worry about this slide here. This slide makes O3 heavier. What does that mean? It means you can't lose it now, because let's say black does the same thing and we get the same exact kind of position here. Well, now, instead of sliding here, we could just say, okay, white, you can take that one stone. I'll take the corner now. So black can just give up the one stone while taking the corner. But after you make this exchange, you're basically giving white the corner to strengthen O3. So that's why you can't really give it up kind of like in this position here. And not saying this is why it's not necessarily a mistake, because if you can handle this fight, it's still okay for black. But it's a problem black has to deal with at some point. So that's why you should play here. If white plays a similar move one space away on the third line, when you kick now there's no weakness. There's no weakness whatsoever to worry about. So yeah, if you want to play in the fourth line, don't make the large knights, just make the knights move. And again, it's one of the few josekis where you make a knight's move extension as opposed to something a little further. And it's because you made this exchange here. Without this exchange, that's why you normally just see K4, because we can still play in the corner if we have to. But black just fixes here. I think normally, I'm not too familiar with this joseki. I've seen a few of my higher level friends play this in tournament. I think normally you play here if you're going to play the 5-4 and what was that, the 6-2. So yeah, but that's fine. So white comes under, and then black plays here, and then this is all fine, but both sides are about to miss a really key spot here of M3, separating this group. Remember, black played Q2, so black now can't just give up the one stone because you're going to lose the two stones. And so black should really, or white should really try to get M3. Yeah. And so should black, of course. So when we get this exchange, these exchanges are actually kind of helping black secure the corner. Because let's say, for example, we're able to play out like this, right? We're able to come out somehow, right? Again, this is all hypothetical, but let's just say, we start to live in the center, right? Somehow, some way. Obviously, white has a weak group up there. But let's say we are alive on the bottom. When we play this now, in some cases, if we are alive, we can actually just give up the 3 stones because the corner would be bigger than the 3 stones. As long as we're alive on the bottom. Obviously, in this case, this would be bad for white. But if we are somehow able to, while attacking black here, again, I made that exchange maybe just coming out is better. If we're able to live somehow, maybe we can play that way. But by doing this first and cutting, yeah, we've just helped black secure there. So white goes here. So again, white needs to, it's even better now because now you've made a base. So white should really try to attack the lower left or lower right here. This would help white get back into the game. But white goes here, which is not small, and then black goes here. So this is, if you look at this board here, white not only has a weak group here, but all of white's strength is on the upper left. And black has a weak group in the lower right. So any move, playing something like this, or maybe playing a cap here to attack this group, this would be the correct direction here. But playing here, this is where white is strong, and white has a very elegant way of surrounding black here as opposed to just blocking. White can play here, and this will not force black. When you block like this, like white does, and black goes here, you can see black's getting a lot of Aji, even though white can still stand up here, whereas if you play this one, black doesn't get any extra forcing moves. So yeah, always remember you don't have, these are not the only 2 moves to a shoulder hit. Or in this case, I guess an armpit hit, but yeah, there are other moves you can play. You can play this one. So playing this, and then black double hanes, and here black got greedy. If black had simply just taken here, this is a great result for black. Black not only got reduced white's left side in Sente, but, well, that's what black did. Black reduced white's left side in Sente, which that should always feel like a win. Next, black can go after or help the lower side, attack the center, do something else. Because if you look at the board, white really doesn't have that big of territories, whereas black's lower left is pretty big. So black doesn't need to do anything super crazy here. When black plays this way, yeah, now black needs to make sure black can capture these, which black almost did not. Because right now it's 3 liberties to 4 liberties, but black can make really good shape by playing here. And this makes things complicated. I think ideally, because if white goes here, black can go here, which forces white to go here. But then it would be an eye versus no eye scenario. So that wouldn't work for white. So white has to play something like this. But then when black extends, black gets too many liberties. Even if this exchange happens. Black has 5 liberties, white has 4. So it might be some sort of but black's going to be able to get something in this position. When black just blocks, this is a big mistake because white can simply just capture. Now, white went here in the game, which looks like a nice shape point, but you're not taking away any liberties. So black can just capture. It's 3 liberties to 3 liberties. Black can just capture. But if white just goes here, takes away a liberty, black gets captured. Black can't throw in because you just take away liberties and capture. If black Ataris, it's not a again, you just take away liberties like this. And if black tries to Hane now you get the Atari into block. Again, black's too low on liberties. So yeah, it was dangerous for both sides, but black was able to get the better of white here. So then black and white helped here. That was important to get. Come out, play there, yes. Attach. This is a big move. Even though black has Miai to live, you don't want white to go here to force you to play at P13. So while this was Gote, it was necessary. White Hanes, plays there, yes. And then white caps. Again, especially after getting the stones in the center here, white should definitely attack. White should definitely attack here. Just letting black connect feels too good for black. Black is there, yes. Force black to go there and then play there, yep. So white is getting a small territory there. Hane. And yeah, black goes here. So black had the right idea, just the wrong order. So if black starts here, something's going to work for black. Or at least black's going to be able to get what black wants. Because white will have to block and then capture. And then you get to play at N9. But by starting here, white can play the key spot of O10. And now you don't have any jump across Aji. There's nothing there. So black had the right idea, just the wrong order of moves. But when white goes here, now something's going to work for black. And something does. And yeah, this is painful. And especially at this stage, you can see black's alive, white's alive. This center here is starting to be the big area on the board. White just answers. So that's way too small at this stage. Black surrounds, peep there. And this is the final kind of big point in this game, is this move is so big because it's sente for both sides. If white goes here, black kind of has to answer, right? You can't lose those 5 stones. But by going here, what if black goes here? What if black goes here? Well, this threatens to kill the bottom. This threatens to kill the bottom. And the way to do it is if you play at J1, if white plays at H2, you can descend here, and this will never be an I, because if you block, Atari. If white goes here, then you can play this one, and the key is when you play H1, it's a very good life and death technique here, you can throw in a G2. So yeah, this would just be a dead shape. So if black can go here, force white to play this. Or I guess white has to do this one. Then you can come back and get your move. But if white's able to get this, white will never need to add a move on the inside. Or very unlikely white will have to add a move. So that's a big end game both sides could have gotten. So white got it the next move, white got it the next one. But yeah, so white tries to fight here. But couldn't really get much with it. Nice squeeze here by black. One last really important spot here. White connects. This is nice. Atari. Black goes here. White can win the semi here. In the game, white just captures, but black can connect, and black has 3 liberties. So the question is, how can we reduce black's liberties even more? Because we only have 2. So everything we do has to be forcing. White can throw in first. White can throw in. Black can't connect. He's still in Atari. If black takes, now when white takes, notice black's magically lost a liberty and white can capture. So white still had a chance here if white had played there or had thrown in here. But white did not. And then they just went to endgame. And I believe, if I just check really quick info. Yeah, black won this game by a 13.5. So, yeah, even though it felt like black was doing okay, white still had a lot of chances in this game. So, yeah, pretty exciting game. Yeah. Yes, game 2. Okay, here we are. Game 2. Black is mejonat and white is bobcrites. Hopefully something like that. But okay. Pretty standard opening. This is okay. Generally, again, this is picking at nits here, but when you have this shape, you generally want to play here. This is a small Chinese or low Chinese? Oh no, this is a mini Chinese, I think. Yeah, I think that's it. Basically, you want to make approaching here less enticing for white, whereas when you go here and white were to invade, you can see white can get a perfect extension, so you would kind of feel like you have to pincer. But if you're here, now you won't have to pincer. You can do something else. But white goes there, pincer. And the key here is, like, white was okay giving black the upper right? And white should be okay with that, but in exchange for black to get the outside. But white on the next turn says, nope, I don't want you to have the right side. So this is white's kind of jumping around in strategy here. If you want to fight on the right side, you can. You just jump here, or you do something else, right? Maybe pincer here. But if you're going to take the corner, obviously black's going to get thickness, so you're going to play a territorial game. Like white ends up playing here in the game, white can just play this. If black takes the right side, okay, that's totally fine. Just go on somewhere else. Maybe play the upper left. Maybe play the lower left. So white should be patient here. Now I will say, there is Aji on the right side. The move to play is specifically Q10. after the upper right joseki. The reason why is if we think, okay, we want to push our opponents towards our thickness, black might think to go something like this, right? To push white towards the upper right. But white can bump here. This is what Q10 is preparing for, where if you cover here, then white's going to be able to connect. And you can see if black just kind of connects on the second line, even if white fixes here, black's going to have to fix at some point, and white's just reduced black down by a lot. So usually, and black can try to refute, but after white turns here, there's a lot of bad aji. It's a lot of bad aji. So yeah, usually black will play this jump, and then white will decide what to do. Again, in this case, I think white should still just play here and treat it as a good exchange there. But yeah, this is the move to play against the upper right joseki. When you come in, black should lean on the lower right. Reason why is we want to attack R8, so we should lean on white's nearby stone. So obviously when black went here, white just answered on the bottom. But when you play here, now white has to answer on the bottom, but now white won't. You're going to get more forcing moves this way. So for example, if white blocks here or extends, then we jump. And again, if white does anything else, we're going to secure white in the corner. This is a good result for black. White is isolated in the lower right corner, is going to just make a few points. But if white ever just keeps trying to not get sealed in, black's just going to keep getting thickness or stones facing this lone white stone on the right side. So yeah, black can just, especially since it's a 3-3, you can just shoulder hit it with K4 here. When black jumps and white plays here, now black needs to make sure black gets a good result on the right side. So black leans. Play there and cut. This is correct. You don't want to do anything too heavy, so white doesn't want to just try to live. White should try to not necessarily fight here, but try to give something up if possible. Black Ataris, yes. Play there. So this is all correct. And then white cuts and then plays here. So this is a nice order of moves. This is a very nice order of moves. I think black turns here, but this feels much better in terms of hurting white's shape on the right side there. Yeah, and black can't block here, even though black wants to, because white can Atari this way. So that's why black needed a move on the right side there. But this was nice Sabaki. In an area where white was outnumbered, white needed to make something happen. So I was able to connect. Now, there is a lot of aji here. Yeah, so here black has, well, because black has a lot of forcing moves, or white has a lot of forcing moves, like peeps like this, black would like to play moves like R4, but I think just extending here is good enough. Just let white connect on the second line, no big deal. Atari, play there, yes. Play there, and then black connects. And then white fix, yes, because there is some bad aji there at some point that white needs to worry about. So playing there does fix that. And then black pushes here. So this push, very good move. Very good move. Black just needed to play some sort of cap here like this. Play some sort of cap here like this. Because the point of O16 is it's sente. If white plays in the center, we are going to be able to capture the stone on the outside. Once again, we're sealing white into the corner as well. Otherwise, if you're okay with taking gote, you should play here. This is a much more light move, with the idea being if white goes elsewhere, we are going to attach here next. And just basically white cannot really fight here because there's problems with white's liberties. Like if white cuts, we can push through here. And this weakness will always exist, no matter what white does. If white goes here, we can still push, Atari, and extend. And we are reducing white down to the second line. So normally white will answer this, because while N15 by itself is not sente, black's response is sente, so it's good enough to just answer. In this case, though, black would get this move, and this would be very good for black, so white probably has to play in the center. But in the game, black pushes to take sente, and then jumps. So black did both. but you should only get one or the other. You either do the knight's move, to set up n17, or just push to get sente and then attack the center. But by trying to get both, now black lost the opportunity to attack the center as well, and now we don't get as good of a move up top. So yeah, black tries to continue fighting, but yeah, white just kind of jumps away. Hane, yes. Jump, yes, that's nice. Play there, yes. Cut. This all makes sense. Play there, Atari. And then white cuts, yes. And then white pushes, because there is weaknesses there, and yeah, black ignores, which does make sense. You'd like to be able to go here, but white extending here. Yeah, black's very weak here on the bottom, actually. So black answering is good. Now here, let's say you want to capture K8, right? Which is, I think this is what this move is trying to do. If you Atari, this is going to be a ladder, right? It's going to definitely hit one of these white stones. So I think black was trying to play a ladder breaker, which is, again, this is what you want to do. But if white just extends here, yeah, black has a lot of issues still. So if you can't ladder the stone, this is a very good shape to know. Play one off of it like this. This is the move you want to play. This is the almost shape point in this shape. Why is it the shape point? So let's say white bumps like I showed in the other variation. Well, actually, this would just fail because black can Hane here, and white's netted themselves, basically. There's no way for white to get more than 2 liberties. So, yeah, white would just die. If white extends, though, which would be where white plays here, well, now when we Hane, look at white's shape. White's shape is atrocious now. White just made an empty triangle. And if white goes here, we still bump, and once again, white's shape is going to become very, very ugly. So if you can't capture with the ladder, play this, I don't know what you want to call it, like one space away, because this is also threatening to, if white does something else, to capture now. Just going here, netting, something. So yeah, this is a nice move to know. This is a very nice move to know. So white Ataris, and then splits. So here, so there's a famous proverb called if A, B, C, just play C, meaning if you're going to make a bunch of exchanges and then just go back anyways, it's better just to play that final move. And we, as we get better, we know this instinctually. Like, for example, in the lower left, a good example of this is here, where if we descend, black can block at A7 and we have to fix anyways. So if A, B, C, better just to play C. Now there's more Aji there. So it's that kind of concept. It's better to leave Aji unused if we're not going to have a chance to use it. So in the upper right here, what black does is black Ataris, extends here, and then comes back and plays Q14, which black does need to play. If black doesn't, white connects. There's a cut here, but then this Atari threatens both the upper right and these 4 stones. So black has to end up coming back and cutting here. But then white just captures the stones up top. So it's better for black just to play Q14. Because without those exchanges, now black has other options of what black can do. So for example, later, maybe black wants to cut on this side. Or maybe black just wants to extend, to threaten that cut. There are a lot of other ways black can play. And even if white plays something like this, there's still a cut. Or something like this, we can still threaten to pull the stone out. So there's a lot more Aji because we haven't used it. So in the game, when black does this first, you've already used up you can't change your mind now. You've already placed the stones down. So white can just capture them. So if A, B, C, just play C. Just play what you were going to play to leave the Aji unused. Black goes there. It's a little, when you have this much thickness, actually, so one, black should fix this somehow. Again, I don't think, like, you could just ladder, but I think you could play something a little, not aggressive, but just asking for a little bit more because you have so many stones nearby. But yeah, if you're going to do anything, this move's a little strange. I would just fix the upper left somehow, or the upper left directly, or play, try to play a move in the middle, because going here still leaves a weakness here. So if white goes elsewhere and you have to play a move again, well, if you started with this, would you still play at c12. You see it's kind of it's almost on the inside of black's moyo there. So white extends, black jumps, the white goes there, yep, and black settles. And so we actually, at this point, just kind of get after what almost a whole quadrant fight, starting from white cutting here, it just kind of turns into a calm game again, where it's just moyo versus moyo. This is a very nice sequence here by black, the attachment here, and connect, and then play there, yes, and cut. So yeah, black does capture that stone as long as black does not put value on these two stones, which black does, so this is good. White peeps, push, and then white goes here. So in this position, because this position comes up a lot, it's actually better to play here. And the reason is, if black blocks, we're going to then play this almost tiger's mouth here, and black's unable to Atari here, because we're going to be able to break through like this. And yeah, even though black's probably going to capture b6, us getting into the center is worth much more. So black has to fix somehow, maybe something like this, and then we're going to be able to play a7 anyways, which notice a7 is actually the monkey jump spot that white played. But if we compare it to if black just fixes it like this, we can see we don't get any extra points compared to here, right? It's quite a big difference actually. But black goes here. So here's the million-dollar question. Who has more potential, black's left side or white's top side? Because depending on that answer, we can figure out if white played in the right direction. So black's left side is bigger or has more potential. So white should ignore black up top and just play some move like this. Because every move black takes away up top is worth less than every move white plays to take away on the left side. So yeah, white had actually a chance here to take an advantage on the left side. Because even if black answers once, right, that's already a good exchange. It's a great exchange. So cover, Atari, white does this now. So interestingly here, white takes and then connects here, but white could have connected in Sente. So white could have done something in Sente, but instead did something in Gote by connecting here. So here, white should just leave it. Just leave it. There's much bigger moves, and it's Gote for even black to take that. So those are the best moves to ignore. It's Gote for you to take, or to save. It's Gote for your opponent to take. Then, yeah, definitely want to ignore now. So black goes here. It's strange, though, to just give it up. Black did secure the top. Hane. Played there. Yep. He's playing some nice end game. This is a nice move. And connect. Play there, yes. Play there, yes. So black, this is a nice order by black here, just to almost simplify the game. Reduce white a little bit here. Reduce white a little, or gain a little bit here. So this was nice. Get this Hane too. Push. And then block, yes. And then white goes here. So this was kind of the last excitement of this game, because there is some Aji here. And I think white uses it like the best of their ability. Black can cut. White goes here. I will say white should just exchange this for free, because it's a move inside anyways. And if black has to capture regardless, which black will have to, black's just going to have to spend three moves now to capture, as opposed to when it's like this, black's just going to have to spend 2 moves. So you can just force black to spend an extra move just by extending there. So push, and play here. It's a tough choice. So let's say white had extended there. Usually throwing in means reducing eye space, or taking away liberties, I mean. In this case, though, if we do this, we can see it actually doesn't help. Yeah, black would just be able to capture anyways. So I think white did the best they could by just peeping. Although usually you want to throw in, as we saw in the last game, throwing in can help. But yeah, after this, it was just kind of end game, and yeah, white did finally extend. So white is trying to make something work here, and yeah, nothing quite works locally. So white White did the smart thing. White never got rid of liberties here, so none of this cost white any points. Because if white started filling in liberties here, even though white could force black to fill liberties with these dame points, white would be losing points. But otherwise, white didn't lose anything here. And yeah, just finished up the game, and end result was white by 15. So even though black did reduce, black needed to be maybe play a little bit stronger on the bottom. And again, black losing tempo up top, not only initially by pushing and then jumping, and then allowing white to get the first move in the center, but then also doing these exchanges up top and then coming back to just to play at Q14, really let white back into the game. Because yeah, white's bottom got really big. And white was able to grow the top as well. But yeah, good game by both sides there. Game 3. So we got black shuffles against white ippon, and this is a very crazy game. So let's jump right in, because yeah, there's fireworks in this game for sure. Played there, yes. Then white plays high Chinese, and black does a smart thing to avoid it. Now, generally speaking, you do not want to approach on the 4th line. The reasoning is, like, white attaches, which is obviously good, and white gets a lot of potential this way. But if white were to just stand up, the 3-3 is now not an option. And the reason why it's not an option is if you were on the 3rd line and you did it, and white were to block, look what happens to white's shape, right? White's shape gets destroyed. But if you're on the 4th line and you try to do the same thing, white can now make a tiger's mouth. So because of white making good shape here, the 3-3 is now not an option. Even though you can attach here, white's getting much more than what black is. So that's why, even though I bet black was thinking, okay, white's playing for influence, I don't want to see anything like this where they get a bunch of 4th and 5th line moves, it's still better to just play on the 3rd line 99% of the time. And this is one of those times. White plays here, and then white asks for a lot here. I would just be happy taking 4th line, but white says, no, I'm gonna take 5th line here. But notice white's jumping with a knight's move, which means whether right now or later, there's going to be problems there for white. So black just extends. This makes sense. Then white goes here, pincer. And yeah, here you only want to attach if black already has a stone. And the reason is, if you attach first, and we get into this variation, right? Not only notice how this stone's in the perfect spot, but also, if it's black's turn now, normally black has a stone here, because this is the move black normally has to begin with. But now black could play something different. Black could play a little further. Black could ask for a little bit more. So it's actually, we're almost over-concentrating black if black had like this position, where this stone is going to get too close even though black gets some thickness. So that's the idea with this attachment. Otherwise, just like in the last game, you can just play 3-3 in this case. Attach. But yeah, black doesn't Atari, black cuts, and this is the wrong way to cut, because black realized, oh, I can't actually, well, I can capture, but then my outside gets cut. So black did realize the outside's worth more, which is true, but white gets a very good result here. White not only takes the corner and is alive, white captures a stone, and black has no base. And speaking of no base, black goes here, but this doesn't even threaten to save S16. There's no way for black, if white goes elsewhere, there's no way for black to save S16. You play here, yeah, there's just not enough liberties there. So black needs to just make some extension along the top to help the 3 stones there. Yeah, white answers though, and then black got to extend. But yeah, white could immediately just pincer up top, because there's no danger in the stone running out, so black would just be under severe attack. But white answers, black goes here, or white goes here. And yeah, because white is already alive, just capturing this one stone is too small. It's too small. We have the whole board to consider here. And the other thing is, let's say we go somewhere else as white. It's not like if black connects here, we are so upset as white, right? Black's just saving 1 stone. And again, we are already alive on the upper right, which is the key here. And maybe white thought they weren't alive, but they are alive here. And so black here, I would just fix. I have all these stones facing the bottom right, so just making great shape in the bottom right means when white comes in, it's going to be hard for white to poke at any weaknesses. But by leaving it, we'll make black play a gote move. When white peeps here, you can see black's shape gets very, very ugly. Gets very, very ugly. And so white would be able to have a very easy way of coming into black's moyo in the lower right. Whereas if it's like this, I don't see a very obvious weakness or something to poke at as white here. So, yeah. But black goes there. This is unorthodox. I can't say it's bad per se, but it's unorthodox. Normally, if you want to play something towards the upper left that is sente or forceful, you want to do just a straight up attachment. But I can't say this is necessarily bad. Because black got what black wanted. Black got the kind of extension on the top. White goes there, and then black jumps. Yeah, so here, we just made a group. And so we really need to just help our group here. Just extend something like this. Because keep in mind, if by jumping here, while this is big, not only when white splits here does the 3 stones get under attack, but now the weakness up top is also becoming a problem for black. So black 017 is kind of going to be a thorn in black's side at some point. So yeah, and it's kind of the key. I guess we'll get to in a second. So white pushes there. Yeah, definitely better to simply just jump here. Don't want to push from behind, especially with bad shape there. So it's just better to jump. No way to get split here, so yeah. So play there. White pushes again. So black very happily just extends. I agree with black. And then white comes in. So this is kind of backwards for white because white just gave black thickness. White made black stronger on the right side and then invaded. You would only play this if you're willing to give black the right side. And so I think white could, because I think white can try to attack first on the top side. And that's the other point with middle game is it's almost like a game of chicken. Whenever you have kind of these 2 competing moyos, or at least somebody has a moyo, you don't want to be the first one to come in, or at least come in and be weak. You want to play in areas that you can control the fight. So when white comes here, yes, black could play a move on the bottom. That's true, but black needs to do something up top. And so white would be on the offensive up top, whereas black would be the one backpedaling. But when white comes in, this is where black is strong. White played in an area that already white cannot extend one direction, and when black goes here, black took away the other direction. So instead, white should play on the wider side, which would be the right side, which again, I think if you just peep here, it would still be okay for white. Like if black connects, we can even descend next. This is starting to connect under. So if black connects, we can even extend. And just like that, white has a base. If black plays a move like this, again, the key is we have to stay light. When you're invading your opponent's area, don't care about every single stone. So for example, we can jump here. And we are now threatening to cut. So if black tries to wedge in, again, we don't care about every single stone. We're just going to try to make light shape. You can see black's not gaining anything with these moves per se. And we're getting good eye shape. We're getting access into the center as white here. So yeah, look for weaknesses. When you just plop a stone in like this, you're going to allow black to just kind of attack you straight up, which again, you're outnumbered here. You don't have a base. And one thing I like about black is black never invaded the left side until the time was right. So black's timing was very good when black ended up playing on the right side or the left side. So play there. So here, this peep is, how should I describe this peep? Because it's true you never want to peep from this side, so maybe you just want to peep here, see if white cares about that stone. But yeah, it's almost an unnecessary exchange. I'm trying to find the best way to kind of explain why, but it's just you let all of white stones connect, so white now has gained. But both of white stones had 4 liberties. Now connected, they have 7, and liberties is strength, and you haven't actually helped any problems here that could exist. Like for example, there is Aji of attachments like this. That P5 may be better to help the right side. As black, yes. If you're saying as black, yes. Black can play here, but here's the real fun part. When you have, oh, hello. Thanks for stopping in. So, in fact, when you have this much thickness, you can play. I think you should play a cap here like this. I think P5 is okay, but this would be the time to just cap, because you're gonna force white. If white shape is so bad, and if white jumps here, now we can do our peep. Now we can play the move here. Now it's a double threat, and it's not like white can go this way, because again you have a stone G6. So you have your artillery is facing white, so you can really go gung ho to really try to attack the white here. When you peep and then play there, yeah. Again, white should just jump. Offering a fight here, or like offering a cut here, yeah, black was correct in cutting here like this. Then play there, yep. I like that move. And then white goes here. So already, when white goes here, we have to ask ourselves, okay, how many points is white going to make with this group? Max. Maybe 3-ish, 4-ish points. And so that should feel like a win. Whenever your opponent invades, we're never trying to kill. We are just trying to reduce them down, make them as comfortable as possible. So this move is good. This move is good. Yeah, this is all correct. Cut, connect. But yeah, this move was the problem. But because by trying to make this a false eye, you kind of hurt yourself. Black hurt themselves because white could cut here. And as you saw in the game, white was able to capture. So instead, force white to make 2 eyes. Yes, force white to make 2 eyes. Instead, we can go here. White has to play this move, and white has spent the last 20 moves to make 2 points. That is a success. And so whenever you get a result like that, as the attackee, as the one attacking, that should feel great. And now we have thickness in the center. You know what that means? Since we weren't the first ones to invade, we can now counter-invade. But now instead of, like when white did it, like if we went in the left side first, it would have been the opposite. If we went in like, let's say white just did something else and then we came in first, well, now it's going to be the complete opposite. And this is just all hypothetical. But just for example, as you're running out, as black's running out, we can see, okay, I have successfully invaded the left side. Sure, I didn't make any points, but I gotten rid of it. But now white's the one with stones facing the bottom. And so now when white comes in, it's going to be easier for white to settle because white has friends nearby. But since white was the first one to come in, now we have the thickness, we have the influence. Now we can play towards the left. Now here, yeah, this move is actually good because there is a cut there. So it does fix that in Sente. But here, this is actually where turning here is better. Turning here is better. It's just simply for liberties and to hurt white. Hani at the head of 2 stones. I'm sure you've heard that. Or black's heard that many, many times. So, yes. Well, going there, I think it's okay to, again, you can fight here because white is so weak. But it does give white a little more option here. And then play there. Yep. So again, black is very patient, which is good. This is good. Now here, yeah, here, this was, both sides missed a big move. White can simply just cut this. And black's right side would just die. Now the reason why this move is good to start is because this move is Sente. So as long as that move is Sente, white cannot really push through and cut. Because if white cuts, it forces us to play here. And again, even though white cuts the other way, white's going to collapse in the center. There's just too many too many cuts there. So this exact move is actually very good, but when white went here, black just needed to fix like this. And again, you can see white's group in the center is not really doing much. But when white bumps, that actually helped black connect. So, yep, play there. Yeah, white just took. And this move's very nice. This move's very nice. Play there, yep. So this is a kind of a weird concept because black probably felt like, okay, oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha, okay. Yeah, so if you block here, you have two cuts, right? You have a cut here, and you have a cut here. But by trying to extend your liberties, you now have three cuts. You've actually weakened yourself by trying to strengthen yourself, which, again, it feels almost backwards, but it is true. So it's actually better to just block here and handle two cuts as opposed to the three cuts when this happens. So, yeah, and this fight's just going to be very tough for black because if white had extended here, black's in a lot of trouble because you still have a weakness at K7. No matter what you do, like if black plays here, there's a weakness here and white can capture. So if you have to come back and fix somehow, then white's going to be able to cut on this side. And once again, black is a lot weaker than white is. So simply by blocking here, also notice blocking here helps the liberties on H11. Whereas allowing white to push through and cutting is actually reducing that liberties. So yes, exactly. That's why, yep, you're avoiding all those shape problems anyways. Precisely. So a lot of fighting is simply just liberties, which, to put it simply, can you count to 3 or 4? Or 2, I guess, right? It's really just liberties is everything in a close, like when we're talking about far away fighting where it's more about shape, that's one thing. But when we're talking about like this right up close, down and dirty fighting, liberties is everything, which is why this knight's move would be a better move to just turn here because you're helping your liberties on the center. So liberties are everything. So here, I guess, so maybe this move, I said it was good and I think it is okay, but maybe you should, or black should fix first. And then if white has to live, now we don't have any weaknesses and we can just come into the left side. But yeah, white just took though. And yeah, so then, now that you've gotten your thickness, then you came in. So black's timing here is perfect. Black waited to come in until black had enough thickness nearby. Tari. This is good. Yes. Play there. Yes. Yes. So this got scary, but yeah. Yes, and it definitely feels this way. So, here, I think a better move would be to, because white saving these stones is just dame. Like all we need to do is live on the left side because we're invading. Again, this is why invading second or last is better, because when white gets thickness here, white's already invaded the bottom. White can't change their mind, so they have to just save to make dame. So I think bamboo into some sort of slide to, again, just make sure your left side's alive. Because you don't necessarily need to capture white here. But doing this, yeah, it's... Even playing there, yeah. If white had gone here, this would avoid a ko and capture black. Yeah. So, but it's good on black to see the ko. And this ko threat, to be fair, I don't see another ko threat. I think there is actually a ko threat at D15. This really hurts the upper left if this were to happen. And again, keep in mind, the left side was already blacks or already whites. So any result you get anywhere else is already a profit. So white's already, like white's securing territory that was already theirs. So they're not actually gaining anything. But going here, if white took, it's actually quite dangerous trying to do anything here. So it's complicated, I guess, as you said. It's very complicated. Yes. Play there. Yep. And connect. So that was good. And then cut. Yep. And so white's final chance here, right here. Black's stick here has no eyes still. And you do need to add a move. Black needs to add a move up top, but white can shoulder hit this. And this would be very painful for black. Again, black has no eyes on the right. And so if you try to connect, you're not connecting. There's actually 0 ways besides a ko to connect this. So this move's actually very nice by white because white's preparing to play something. But then white goes here, which if white goes here and black fixes, black's going to have is going to do well in this game. So I think this is to wrap up this review specifically. Always remember, big moves before important. 0-2, huge move, but not important. And kind of similar with this. Yeah, Hane. And again, you can do this because now you're strong on the left side. We get another crazy fight. Here, black can just go down. Black has enough liberties to refute white trying to separate. White has 2, black has 3. So there's no issues there. This made things a little more complicated still. Took. Yes. Yeah, this was unnecessary by black. Because you took away your own liberty, or black's own liberty here at d14. Whereas if you simply just make an eye there, like by going here, it's an eye versus no eye situation. Which is probably black's best chance here. Doing this could work, but it's very risky. Yeah, now when you start to take away liberties. Yeah. Here, yeah, white can descend. And it keeps things... Well, I guess, yeah, because black can't connect. So we would have a position like this. You see black's, it's just very complicated now. So if you can make an eye versus no eye, that's your best chance. White just took though. And so here, black did the right thing of remembering to help the center. Yep. And black even eventually got to play P2. But yeah. Okay, let me just quickly go through if there's any final points here. Really important points, I guess. Yeah, this was weird to make this exchange. Because again, white's totally connected. But by making this exchange, you give up Sente for not much gain there. So, yeah, it's just endgame at this point. This is a nice connection underneath by white. So yeah, I like... Black did a good job of timing in this game. Timing is actually really hard to get right, especially for weaker players, but black's timing in this game is very good. Black was just kind of waiting, seeing how white would play, and then responding properly. And for white needs to be a little more patient. Even though black had a huge area growing on the bottom, white could have taken initiative up top to instead... play from that direction first. And also, white was playing Moyo on the left side, a Moyo game on the left side. So white should not abandon that by then invading black immediately. White should continue building the left side if white wants to play Moyo. Yes, that too. Yes. Oh, there's kind of M16. What's there? Oh, this one? This actually... if this one actually, your move perfectly fixes it actually. Because after this, one move earlier, okay. Oh, like here? Like at this point? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Now I think if black prioritizes obviously the center, it is big. It's definitely big, but should not. Yes. And they are big, but it should not cost black the game. The bottom here is way too large. And again, when white invaded the bottom, white made 5 points. Whereas when black invaded the left side, black made more than 5 points. So, yeah. But yeah, cool. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review next week.